Moving along to professional football, NFL divisional round weekend. Boy, we had some games. We had some upsets. Ruined my bracket. All my brackets shattered all to hell now. But what game you want to hit first? Like what's the game that stood out the most to you that you want to hit?
It has to be Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Has to be.
Bro, fantastic.
Has,
like
has to be.
like his poise, and I keep saying the word poise, but like that's the only way I can describe what he did. I mean, he's a guy that looks like he's well beyond his years as a young quarterback. Going in and facing a Detroit team that we knew they had injuries, and this was the first time I think we all saw like, oh man, they got one too many injuries to be able to overcome in this game because you have a quarterback right now that is confident in the play call, confident in what he's seeing, and he's playing like it. Like I'm not watching a young quarterback having to figure it out back there. Like no, he's dropping back, seeing it, delivering it, and shout out to Cliff Kingsbury. I think this is one of those things where you start to realize that everybody isn't built to be a head coach, but Cliff Kingsbury is in his designed role. This is his designated role, is being an offensive coordinator, dialing up offenses at the professional level. What he's been able to do for Jaden Daniels and elevating this group, and with the receiving core that they have now, I mean, I think there's still room for them to get better as a team. They got a legitimate shot to go to distance with just about anybody. I'm just overall impressed with how he handles these big time situations, man. He at every moment, because Detroit battled. Detroit went tit for tat there for a minute there, and he had an answer every time. There was never a moment where he didn't have an answer. So I mean, kudos to that young brother. Kudos to the Commanders. I'm excited to watch them play against Philly in the NFC title game.
Yeah, same here. I told my homeboy a couple years back. He's an LSU fan. I was like, I mean, overall, my only issue with Jaden Daniels, he has to do a better job protecting himself because he takes some like Looney Tune like hits like on the field, dog. Like it's crazy. It looks CGI how bad the hits he gets, but other than that, Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback, and I seen it when he was at LSU, and he's taking it to the NFL as well. I love it. I love it for him. Cliff Kingsbury. I personally, I think he might end up get back in the head coaching talks. He might, but I mean, I think he may stay OC for the next couple years. I mean, maybe he might learn from some mistakes out there in Arizona. But other than that, man, shout out to him. I really had Detroit. I had Detroit going to the Super Bowl this year. So that just threw everything out the window. But I just think Detroit. I think they really hurt on defense a little bit. So overall, I don't think they lost any draft picks or anything like that because one thing about Detroit, they built this. What they built is from the ground up. They didn't have to sacrifice no future picks, nothing like that. Anything they gained some from the Rams with the Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. Um, man, uh, but fast forward, the Commanders, yeah, they're one win away, man. But I never would have thought, man, we might see a rookie quarterback going to the Super Bowl. Cause they really have a good chance against the Eagles because they beat them the second go. I think they're neck and neck or whatever. I think Eagles got them by 8 the first time, and then the Commanders got them reset. I can't remember the final score. So
Look, the divisional game, is going to be competitive. I'm a wait. I'm a wait till we focus on championship weekend. But just to continue on with the Commanders Lions talk, Jared Goff, this game for him, what did this mean for you in terms of, do you think that he solidified his ceiling as a quarterback? Like this is where it's going to be for him. Like he's not going to be a championship level quarterback. He's not going to be a guy that can get you over the hump. Did that happen for you? Because you look at some of the turnovers, you look at the overall play. Like, did he have a solid game? And he did have a solid game, and he ended up playing himself out of some of those turnovers. But as you keep going through a game, you can't have the litany of mistakes that he made and expect to win in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you know your defense is is already beating the hell. Like that's been the entire season. So I don't even want to use the defensive excuse as a valid one for Detroit, because you had figured out how to maneuver through that all season. Jared Goff, you can't have a multi turnover game in the biggest game of your season, um, with everything on the line. For me, like you look like Cam Newton, for example. When Cam Newton put out that list of game manager quarterbacks, Jared Goff was on that list, and a lot of people gave him a lot of pushback about that list. But when you start looking at it in retrospect, the guys he called game managers very much ended up being game managers there at the end of the season. At the end of the season, so I mean, I want to know what your thoughts were on Jared Goff and where you think the future lies with him.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Exactly, because if let's say if you gave Jared Goff a stout defense, yeah, Detroit easily would have won that game, but they hurt. They just hurt on defense. You know, this is a very physical sport, so the guys got out. You know, they didn't have Hutchinson. You know, to create pressure. You know, I think they're missing some DBs as well. It's just that's the nature of the sport. So I mean, overall offensive performance, yeah, Jared Goff he did have his turnovers and everything like that, but I think if he just had a stout defense that could create pressure to create some headaches for a rookie quarterback in his second playoff game, you know, who knows what could have happened, you know. So I think this is not the last of Jared Goff going into the playoffs. I think he can get them there to the Super Bowl. That's my personal opinion. You got to give him a defense. Just give him a defense and let's go from there.
Yeah, and just to end off, I know many people in Lions Nation very upset that they lost Ben Johnson to the Chicago Bears, but I would tell them, like, this is still a great team you have returning back. Like, you still have your best players are returning. Jared Goff is still there. He's been solid for you at quarterback. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery are still in that backfield. Amon St. Brown isn't going anywhere. Neither is Jamison Williams. And you get your health, you get guys back. Aiden Hutchinson then comes back. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get all of your pieces back that you lost. So you're not losing anybody to free agency. At least not none of your significant, core pieces. You'll lose, obviously, rosters change from year to year, but there is still very much a lot to be happy about. And that those positions of DC and OC in Detroit are coveted positions right now. Like, people are gonna want to go and be a part of what you guys have built there. So I don't think it's over. I don't know if you're gonna be nearly as dominant, of course, because that was a very special group you had on offense this past season. But I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination in Detroit. But there's more to be seen.